Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. The last time tonight's starter faced the Indians, Armando Galarraga made national headlines with his almost perfect game. Tonight, Galarraga looks for perfection once again against the Tribe from Cleveland. It's a beautiful night for baseball as we welcome you to Motor City. We're at Comerica Park tonight, game one of this three-game series featuring the Cleveland Indians and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for game one of this three-game series. The Tigers win 3, lose 4 on the road trip, but they're back home tonight, Rod, and that's good news because they typically play well here at home, hopefully trying to get something going here tonight.
You know, other than that last homestand where they kind of stubbed their toe, they didn't play very good baseball. They've been an outstanding team here at Comerica Park. If you're the Tigers players, right now you're looking at a 500 record. You need to get back to that 500 mark before anybody's going to take you seriously.
All right, now one of the guys that has given the Tigers a little bit of energy coming back up from AAA is Will Rhymes. He has played some pretty good baseball at the big league level recently, including yesterday in New York.
You know, I've kind of liked what I've seen out of Will Rhymes. He has shown the ability to put the ball in play, which bodes very well for him. He's a plus runner. That means he has pretty good speed. He sprays the baseball foul line to foul line, and he gets on base ahead of Cabrera, so that's always a good thing. He's also showed you some brilliance on the defensive end. He's made some diving catches. He's made some do-or-die plays. So Will Rhymes has done a very nice job since he's come back to the big leagues for his second tour of duty, and he did well his first time as well.
So who is Will Rhymes? He is a native of Houston, Texas. He and his twin brother Jonathan played basketball with Emeka Okafor and baseball with Jeff Neiman growing up. He went to William and Mary College and is also very musically inclined as well. Rhymes in the lineup tonight for the Tigers, batting in the 2 slot for Jim Leland. Tigers and Indians just minutes away from the ballpark. In the meantime, we go back to the Call Sam studios now with more in our coverage. Here's Trevor Thompson. Cleveland Indians are in town. Game 1 of this 3-game series between the Tigers and the Tribe. And by the way, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get yourself a free small order of curly fries in the process. We will check out the starting lineup for the visiting Cleveland Indians. It is brought to you by Honda Bluefield. Trevor Crow leads it off. He'll play center field as Drupal Cabrera, 9-game hitting streak right now at shortstop. Then Shin-Soo Choo. Travis Hafner is cleaning up as the DH. Shelley Duncan is in left. Jason Nix is at third. Your bottom 3 is Laporta, Valbuena, and Lou Marson for Cleveland. Scouting report on the Tigers. Armando Galarraga is presented by Ace Hardware.
This is the first time that Galarraga has seen the Cleveland Indians since his near-perfect game back on June 2nd. So he'll need to be very good here once again today. And he was pretty good his last start out. As a matter of fact, Jim Leland commented how good his stuff was early in the game, but he wasn't able to complete the game or get deep into the game, which his ball club needed. So finish what you start as well. Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively. It's always presented by Beaumont Hospital. You've got Kelly in left. You've got Jackson in center. Brennan Bosch is back in the starting lineup after a couple of days off in New York. Infield reads Inge, Peralta, Rhymes, Cabrera. Gerald Laird is catching Armando Galarraga here tonight.
And Armando is in search of his 4th victory of the season here this evening.
Comes in with an earned run average. It's a shade over 4.5, 91 innings, 31 walks, only 43 strikeouts. But for me, Galarraga, his last time out, even though he pitched a near-perfect game for about 4 innings, he had some of the best stuff I've seen him with all year. His slider was electric. As a matter of fact, he said he couldn't control it. And his fastball touched 95 on a couple of different occasions. So he was fired up.
So we are ready for baseball here as Trevor Crow leads it off. The Indians in town to start a 3-game series on a gorgeous night for baseball here in the Motor City. And we are glad to have you with us. Crow facing Galarraga. Trevor batting .253. The first pitch of the ball game. In for a strike as Brian Gorman goes up with the right hand. Trevor Crow just a couple of homers this year. Not a whole lot of power. 30 RBIs. And he bounces one to the right side of the infield. Will Rhymes is there. And one gone. Quick out there for Galarraga.
It's been an up and down year for Galarraga. Really, it's been an up and down couple of years for Galarraga. So what he did the last couple of times he's gone out, he's watched some video from a couple of years ago when he was a 13-game winner. And he noticed that his leg kick wasn't as high now as it was then. And he's kind of gotten to a little higher leg kick here the last couple of starts. And as a result of that, he's been able to keep the ball down in the strike zone for the most part.
Here is Drupal Cabrera batting in the 2 slot. And he drives one to center field. Austin Jackson is there. There are 2 gone.
Now here's that windup that I'm talking about with Armando and the leg kick, where he gets up to a very nice balance point, and then he's able to allow the arm to catch up. That's our Lincoln Mercury X mode. Now right there, now your arm starts to catch up, and that's when you can get the ball down. And Galarraga the last couple of years has just really been rushing everything. Therefore, he hasn't been as effective as they would like to see him.
Well, here is Shin-Soo Choo batting in the 3 spot. And he's hitting with 2 out, nobody on. Choo batting .290. Spent some time on the disabled list this year with a sprained thumb.
Yeah, this is the count you want to stay out of against Choo. He's a lethal, lethal fastball hitter. And he hits most good fastballs.
The Indians have had their share of injuries this year. Of course, Grady Sizemore perhaps one of their biggest, but don't talk to the Tigers about injuries. These are 2 teams that have been banged up. Choo was on the DL in July with his bad thumb. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So in some ways, Manny Acta had to deal with what Jim Leland has had to go through this year.
And Manny in his 4th season as a manager, he spent some time with the Nationals before leaving there last year and getting the opportunity with the Indians in his first year as their skipper.
Shot toward left field, hit pretty good. Don Kelly, though, is going over into the sun, makes the catch in a 7-pitch inning for Armando Galarraga. Nice start tonight. Justin Masterson takes the hill for the Indians. Tigers starting lineup is presented by our friends at Big Boy. It's Jackson leading it off in center field. Good numbers against the Indians' career. Then Rhymes, then Damon. You've got Cabrera cleaning up. Bosch, Peralta, Inge, Kelly, and Laird also in the starting lineup tonight for Detroit. Jackson stands into the batter's box and looks at a strike from Justin Masterson. Austin, 5 hits in the series against the New York Yankees. And he takes one that swings outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. 302 batting average for Jackson. Also hit his 2nd home run of the season on the road trip. That's fouled away, 1-2.
Now Masterson throws from a tricky arm slot. It's a low 3/4 arm slot. He kind of slings that baseball up there. He doesn't nearly throw as hard as he did before they got him from the Boston Red Sox when he was pitching out of the bullpen.
Masterson is 25 years old, born in Kingston, Jamaica. Big boy goes 6'6", 250.
He is.
The 2-2. Bounced slowly toward third base. Foul.
And Jackson, as you mentioned, does his best work against the Cleveland Indians and has done that all year long. As a matter of fact, he just needs to get on base. Of his 18 steals, 6 have come against Cleveland.
Well, we'll see if he can get on here and test Lou Marson early in this game. 2-2 pitch. Driven to right field. There's a base hit. And the leadoff man is on.
Pretty nice swing there by Austin Jackson, and that's how you drive the ball the opposite way. You allow the ball to get deep in the strike zone, and you basically take it out of the catcher's glove.
So Will Rhymes will step in. Rhymes batting .276. A couple of hits in the ball game yesterday. In fact, Rhymes 5 for his last 8 at the big league level. Had a 3-hit game against the Angels before he was sent down.
Imperative that the Tigers try to score first here tonight against the Cleveland Indians. That's when they do their best work. How they will accomplish that remains to be seen. Sack bunt, maybe a steal.
Runner goes. Here comes Marson's throw. The tag, safe.
That's number 7 now for Jackson against the Cleveland Indians this year. For whatever reason, he just kind of picks on them.
19th of the season for Jackson. He's been caught just 5 times.
Real good jump. Marson did all he could do. He threw the ball on the bag. Cabrera also allowed the ball to travel by straddling the bag, but Jackson too fast, able to steal that base rather easily.
Rhymes now with a count of 2 balls, no strikes, sitting pretty here with a man in scoring position.
He's got a job to do, and he does.
And he bunts right in front of the plate, picked up by Marson, and he is safe at first base. Collision down there. Hurt on the play is Laporta, and a run will score. Rhymes will go to second and stop there, and Matt Laporta still on the ground. Well, that's Valbuena, actually. Valbuena, who came into cover, and that's his wrist.
That's ugly.
That does not look good.
No, it does not.
Tigers will get a run on the play.
It is always a very difficult play when you are taking the ball on a throw from the catcher and you have to reach back into the baseline with your hand, as he does here. And it looks like Will's left shoulder collided with the hand of Valbuena, and he is visibly in a lot of pain. You'll see it real good here. Right there.
Single E2, no RBI. So Valbuena's wrist is being looked at right now by the Indians trainer. And he had a pretty good collision with Will Rhymes, who is okay apparently and smiling down at second base.
I've seen some first basemen really get hurt on this exact same type play. Really, the guy that comes to mind is Cliff Floyd. A few years back, he really got hurt reaching into the baseline as that runner is running down the line full speed.
And it appears Valbuena is okay. He's going to stay in this game. So the Tigers have a run in. Valbuena is still a little bit sore, but he'll remain in the game, and that'll bring up Johnny Damon. Damon at 274. Seven home runs this year. In his return to Yankee Stadium, Damon had just 2 hits in 13 at-bats.
Left-handers do a little bit better against Masterson than right-handers do. About 50 points higher is the batting average. Jim Leyland has had as many left-handers in his lineup today as he can, with the exception of Avila.
1 ball, 1 strike on Damon. Johnny had 6 hits total on the trip, which brought the Tigers through Chicago and then eventually into New York. Fouled that one off. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now here's Masterson's numbers. Only 3 home runs allowed to right-handers this year. 10 home runs against left-handers.
And the 1-2. Damon has had his entire career and continues to have a very good ability at fouling pitches off and prolonging at bats and driving up pitch counts. His average this year at 274, a little bit below what he has been in recent years. But he's making Masterson work here. And that one missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Early run for the Tigers. Still nobody out in this inning. Single by Jackson, stolen base. He scores on the single and the error. Inside again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Miguel Cabrera. And the 3-2. Ground ball right side. Laporta has it there, and this will advance the runner. First out. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on Masterson. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, you talked about the fact that Justin was born in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, he's the 4th born player born in Jamaica, but he is the first pitcher. And you wonder what his future is going to be as far as 2011, whether he will be in the starting rotation or whether he will go back to the bullpen. He was much better in Boston out of the bullpen than he has been this year as a starter for the Cleveland Indians.
Seems like they've been debating that for a while now.
Well, their bullpen is outstanding right now, and really they don't need Masterson. So if they can kind of get him fixed and get him figured out to the fact that where he's winning more games than losing as a starter, then it bodes well for their entire organization.
Miguel Cabrera, the first to 100 RBIs in the big leagues this year. 31 home runs, had a great road trip, great series against the New York Yankees.
Yeah, they are conceding the run in the infield. All the big fella needs to do is hit something on the ground or in the air if he wants a sac fly to drive that run in.
Drives one on a line to right field. Chu, it's over his head. That'll get the run in. Rhymes will score. Cabrera going to second base, and he is out. Chu played it off the fence out there after it sailed over his head, but he'll get an RBI. Number 101 for Cabrera.
Well, you can understand what Chu's going through here, but Cabrera's just a special kind of player. Most right-handers do not hit the ball to right field with this kind of backspin. He catches it just right. Chu takes a couple of steps in. The ball flies over his head, but he's able to pick it up and still get the out at second base because he's got a very, very strong throwing arm.
Single 9-6 on the putout as Brendan Bosch stands in. 2-0 Tigers with an early lead here tonight. Chu has just picked up his 12th assist from the outfield. With a cannon of an arm out there in right. There's the 0-2. Ooh, Marson was headed back to the dugout. So is Masterson. A little bit of an early departure there. Brian Gorman said it missed. 1-2. Bosch hits it off the end of the bat on the backhand. Nix at third to end the inning. Tigers, though, get a couple of runs. They leave none. Will go to the second, and it's 2-0 Detroit. And meanwhile, Galarraga had himself a quick 7-pitch inning. He'll go back to work here in the second. It'll be Hafner, Duncan, and Nix facing Galarraga. First pitch sails in for a strike. 0-1 on Travis Hafner, who's hit safely in his last 6 games. Having .313 this year against the Tigers. .270 overall. Here's the 0-1. Foul straight back. No balls and 2 strikes on Hafner. 11 for 22, so it has not only been a 6-game hitting streak, but it's really been more of a tear for Hafner.
Well, he's the one guy you want to stay away from when there's traffic on the base paths with those kinds of numbers. And Galarraga facing him just the way you'd like to with nobody on. Boy, did he miss badly with that location. Laird was asking for that ball up and in, and Galarraga basically bounced it down and away.
Armando looking for his first win since June the 24th. He's had some losses and a few no decisions in there, and that one skips inside and almost hit him. 2-2. Hafner was on the disabled list with some shoulder inflammation. Recently came off the DL, and since coming back has really torn it up. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Galarraga strikes him out.
And it looks like Armando's got that real good slider once again here today. It's one of the pitches that he said he had last time against the White Sox. That was a real good pitch for him. As a matter of fact, he said he had a tough time commanding that slider.
4 up, 4 down against Armando. Here is Shelley Duncan, batting .243. Duncan had a monster year last year at AAA as a member of the Yankees organization. In fact, was the International League MVP. Hit 30 home runs last year. Leads and misses, and the count is 0-2.
If Galarraga can locate most of his sliders to Duncan as he did that last one, it'll be a long day for Shelley.
And the 0-2 pitch. They want the appeal, but he didn't go. Ted Barrett is your first base umpire tonight.
It looks like Duncan's kind of gone to his emergency stance. spread out real far, not striding at all. But you can still throw that same pitch to get the swing and miss.
The Cleveland offense has been pretty hot lately. In fact, in their last 2 games, they've totaled 30 hits. 13 last night, 17 on Wednesday.
They only had 4 hits going into the 8th inning last night, and somehow got 9 more before that game was over. They were being shut down by Kyle Davies.
Galarraga busting him inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
They also made 5 errors last night and won the game. 5 errors.
That does not happen very often.
No.
Pitching around 5 miscues. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout, so Galarraga now has retired 5 straight.
So far, so good for Armando, throwing first pitch strikes and then exploiting the weakness of Duncan there with the breaking ball that looked like a fastball coming out of his hand, and that ball's about 2 inches outside. But Duncan, even with those long arms, long bats, couldn't reach it.
Here's a former Chicago White Sox infielder, Jason Nix, who is batting with 2 outs here. He's hit safely in his last 5 straight, and he hits one right to the first baseman. On one hop, Cabrera to the bag. 6 up, 6 down against Galarraga. He's looked sharp tonight. 1.5 in the books. 2-0 Detroit. Comcast, call 1-800-Comcast for TV, phone, and internet. What a sparkling night here in downtown Detroit tonight. 81 degrees, clear skies. The Tigers and Tribe get together for the start of a 3-game series. Already 2-0 Detroit, as former Indian Johnny Peralta leads it off. Peralta, Inge, and Don Kelly. July 28th is when the trade happened. As Peralta comes over from the Indians. Tigers were in Tampa at the time. Peralta with the Tigers hitting 197, but he has hit 5 home runs in his new uniform. Breaking ball is on the outside corner, 1-2. Masterson gave up 3 hits in that first inning. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball toward third, foul ball. Masterson coming over in a trade with the Boston Red Sox July of last season. That was that Victor Martinez deal. It sent the longtime Cleveland catcher on to Beantown. And at the time, he was the 4th best prospect overall in their organization, the 2nd best pitching prospect for Boston. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In the air, center field, playable for Trevor Crowe. 1 out. We'll bring up Brandon Inge. The Tigers and Indians have played 12 times this year. Tigers have won 6. Indians have won 6. It's just a matter of where they play the games, because each team is 5-1 in their home ballpark against the other.
Tigers swept by the Cleveland Indians right after the All-Star break, and that kind of started the downward spiral they've been on since the second half began.
Tigers are playing pretty good ball going into the break. What were they? I think a half game out going into the break.
You're correct. Half a game behind the White Sox.
And then that 4-game series was just a smack in the face.
Then they got back home and they lost Maglio, Carlos, and Inge in a matter of 48 hours. And that was just too much to overcome. But as I said earlier, what the Tigers need to do now is concentrate on playing some real good baseball here at home, where they've been a good team, and get back to 500. Get back to the 500 record.
2-1 on Brandon. Make it 2-2 on Inge. Inge has admitted that every now and then that left hand that was broken, which put him on the disabled list, still a little bit tender, a little bit sore every now and then, but nothing that he can't play through. Missed inside. 3-2 on Inge.
Well, he's one tough cookie anyway. Last season he played the entire second half of the year on 2 knees that needed to be surgically repaired in the offseason. So he's a guy that can play in some pain.
Pulled into left field, base hit. Inge is aboard. The Tigers have another hit now. They're 4th of the game already.
I don't know what Don Kelly is thinking, but part of Kelly's game is bunting for base hits, and if Nick's down at third base is giving him room, he may as well exploit that by taking a bunt base hit. I told you that the Cleveland Indians made 5 errors in last night's game. Nick's made 2 of those. And Kelly's got quite a bit of room down there.
5 for 13 this year against India's pitching, Don Kelly, so he's done well. Golf's the first one back out of play. Kelly has provided Jim Leland with a guy that can come off the bench late in games as a defensive replacement, and he has made some terrific plays in the outfield this year. Also homered in that series in New York. One ball, 1 strike. Kelly had 3 hits total on the trip as he takes a good long look at Gene Lamont. And the 1-1 runner goes, and a bouncing ball hit towards short off the glove of Cabrera, who was going over to cover second. Inge will go to third base and stop there, and the Tigers have something going now. Runners at first and third.
And Kelly picked the right place to hit the ball too, with Cabrera vacating his position at shortstop on the hit and run, and couldn't recover enough to make the play. Although he did knock it down, he wasn't able to make the play. And that's why they tell you when you're covering, when guys are running in the middle infield, you kind of shuffle laterally to get to where you need to get to slowly, just in case the ball's hitting your direction. You still have the athleticism, because you're on the balls of your feet, to get back and make the play. Cabrera could not get back and make that play.
So here is Gerald Laird now with runners at first and third. What typically goes into the decision on who will cover second base?
A lot of times it depends on the way the hitter swings the bat. Obviously they know how Kelly swings the bat, and apparently they felt like in that situation he may be looking to pull something through that hole on the right side with a runner on first base. So therefore the shortstop covers, and Kelly's picked the right spot to hit it to. Really no rhyme or reason as to which guy covers, other than every now and then the scouting report kind of comes into play.
Ground ball, base hit left field. This will get another run in. Laird drives one in, and the Tigers have a 3-0 lead.
Masterson is usually one of those guys that has no difficulty getting through the lineup first time around, but because of his arm slot and the reception that he has, if you see him more than once, you're able to get to him. That's a flat fastball that Nix takes a dive for and can't knock down.
Tigers have 3 more hits in this inning and 6 for the game already as Laird picks up his 18th RBI. Top of the order now, Austin Jackson. Still only 1 out in the inning. Single and a steal for Jackson in the first inning, plus a run scored. Two and 0.
So far, the Tigers are playing some pretty good situational baseball in this game. Jackson led off with a base hit. He stole second base, and then it was Rhymes simply trying to get Jackson over to third base on a bunt. But he was awarded with a base hit, and he was standing on second base. Damon had a really good at-bat. He advanced Rhymes over to third base before the big fella drove him in. So they're playing some real good situational baseball here today, and Laird drove in a run with a runner on third, less than 2 outs. It's a good remedy for success.
Swing and a miss. 2-1 on Jackson. Well, it's all totaled up so far to a 3-0 lead for Detroit. 2 in the first, 1 here in the second.
Jackson played real well in his first trip back to the new Yankee Stadium against the team that drafted him and the team that he thought he would play in the big leagues for.
There's a strike call,
and it was good to see.
Jackson had 5 hits in that series against the New York Yankees.
Second home run of the year against CC Sabathia.
Fouled straight back.
It's a hanging breaking ball there by Masterson. But let's take a look at Jackson very first time up with 2 strikes. He takes the ball out of Marston's glove, slices a single the opposite way. He steals second. And then he's able to score on a Rhymes bunt that got away from Marston, the catcher. And an error was given to Marston.
And as a result, the Tigers got the first of their 2 runs in that first inning. I remember Brendan Bosch saying we went back to play the Dodgers, and of course Brendan from Southern California, how it was great to get back home, but it was also very stressful with all the folks there. And even though Jackson is not from New York, I'm sure there was a little bit of extra stress for him because he was their prize prospect and the first time that he was actually playing in New York. That missed inside. 3-2 now on Jackson. But he showed up, played well. And now back home here as the Tigers start a homestand against these Indians.
It's really remarkable at how consistent Jackson has been all year. There really hasn't been a week where he just hasn't really showed up and played well on one side of the ball, offense or defense.
It's another base hit. Looks like it'll get another run in. Throw coming home is late, and Austin Jackson signals in Don Kelly, and it's 4-0 Detroit. Jackson's second hit is 28th RBI.
Looked like he got a breaking ball there from Masterson. It's a flat breaking ball. Most of his breaking balls kind of flow east to west in the strike zone because of the arm slot that he throws from. And Jackson was able to reach out, get that ball back to left field, and Duncan had no play on Kelly.
Tim Belcher is out with an early visit here with Masterson. And the Tigers already have rolled up 7 hits in this game. They've scored 2 in the first and 2 here in the second. Meanwhile, Masterson now has thrown 48 pitches already. Well, the veteran Tim Belcher, their pitching coach, heading back to the dugout after a brief chat. In the meantime, here comes Rhymes, who had that bunt hit back in the first. Ground ball hit to the right side, right at the first baseman, Laporta. And out at first base is Rhymes. And the runners move up now with 2 outs. We'll see if Johnny Damon can come through with a 2-out hit. Masterson trying to slog his way through the first 2 innings. All 7 Tigers hits have been singles. Damon is 0 for 1. Ball 1 inside. Johnny had 6 hits on the road trip.
If you're G Money down at third base, you have to be aware of the fact that Masterson has uncorked 11 wild pitches this year, which leads their club by a pretty good margin. As a matter of fact, anytime you're on the base paths, you need to be aware of that fact.
Two and one. This will be the 30th pitch of this inning coming up from Masterson. And it's rolled foul down the first base line. Well, the Tigers, since the All-Star break, were hitting .204 with men in scoring position, which was dead last. But tonight, a market improvement, 4 for 6. The RBIs in this inning for Jackson and Laird. Swing and a miss. Damon goes down, and that is that for Detroit. But they add 2 more runs. We played 2 innings here in the Motor City. 4-0. Mobile broadband network, AT&T, rethink possible. A stunning night here in downtown. Gorgeous evening. The Tigers off to a nice little lead as well, as they are ahead of the Indians here 4-0 as we travel to the third. And for the Indians, it'll be Laporta, Valbuena, and Lou Marson facing the right-hander Armando Galarraga. 6 up, 6 down against Armando with a pair of strikeouts along the way. Laporta has been absolutely struggling, to the tune, in fact, of 3 for his last 30. 7 home runs this year and a .243 batting average. The 0-1.
He probably had the at-bat of the game for their team last night. I told you Kyle Davies was dominating them until the 8th inning, and Laporta had a 13-pitch walk. And that kind of started the wheels in motion for his team's comeback. Davies left the game, and they got into that Kansas City Royals bullpen and went on to take over the game.
Well, they are expecting big things from Laporta. He came over from Milwaukee in the CC Sabathia deal. It was back in 2008. Roll to Will Rhymes. Routine play there, and one gone. Time for a game break now. We go back to the studio, and here is Trevor Thompson. All right, Trev, thank you. Here it is 4-0 in favor of the Tigers as Luis Valbuena stands in.
Derek Lee, that's a nice pickup for the Atlanta Braves. He did not want to leave Chicago because of his daughter and the treatment that she's been getting for an ailment that she's had with her eye. But I guess he finally gave in to the idea of being traded. He went to a real good franchise, Atlanta.
Yeah, because the Cubs had a deal worked out with the Angels, and he decided to turn that one down, but he has gone on to Atlanta. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Valbuena.
Frank Wren, who was the general manager of the Atlanta Braves, he was the assistant general manager in Florida when Derek Lee was playing there, so he knows all about Derek Lee and his talent.
Chicago's got to be a tough city to leave.
Well, it does have its perks, that much is for sure, but you got to go to sleep at night because you got to play a lot of day games.
And that's one downside.
You can't run those streets.
A major downside.
Hey, when you're in Chicago, them streets, they call you.
They do.
They call you.
They know you by name, actually. Rod, come on.
They call you.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Galarraga looking good. That's his 3rd strikeout.
He just looks like he's got some really nice mound composure here, and he's really working under control. Very slow, very deliberate. We told you that he's gotten back to the high leg kick. Here's a changeup. He throws very few of those, but that's a dandy at the bottom of the strike zone to get the swing and miss.
8 up, 8 down against Galarraga. Here comes Lou Marson, the light hitting catcher for the Indians. Marson at 192. He has really had his problems against right-handed pitching this year. Marson batting just a .138 against right.
He's gotten a chance, though. He played in the big leagues at the beginning of the year. He made their team out of spring training, and he hit about 191 before they sent him down to the minor leagues. So it's not that he's not getting a chance to play. With their star catcher, Santana, lost for the year. And it's up to Marson to kind of step up and improve on those numbers.
There's a strike call, 1-2 on Marson. Marson was catching. Santana was called up. Marson was sent down. Santana is now hurt. So Marson will get extended playing time. Here's the 1-2 offering. Just missed it. Ryan Gorman was thinking about it. It was racing through his head, and then he decided, nope. 2-2. And Galarraga now has his 4th strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning. Cabrera, Bosch, Peralta coming up.
Call 313-262-2010 or visit DetroitLions.com.
Back here at Comerica Park as we go to the bottom of the third tonight. The Tigers on top of this one 4-0. They put up 7 hits already in this game.
I bet that camera takes some good pictures.
Here's Cabrera to lead things off. Miguel looks at a strike. It'll be Cabrera, Bosch, and Peralta. Yeah, he had an RBI single back in the first.
And the way you approach a guy like Masterson, who has that natural sink on his fastballs, you take him the opposite way as Cabrera did his first time up. Hitting that ball over Chu's head. I look in right field, and Chu has backed up a few steps, giving Big Miguel a little bit more room in right.
Learned his lesson. Back in the first inning, a rocket hit over his head.
Strike 3. No.
Ted Barrett said he did not go.
Sorry, Ted.
It's 1-2 on Cabrera. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And he went around that time. No disputing that. Second strikeout for Masterson.
That is one of the few times I think I've seen Cabrera actually go up there and looking for a certain pitch, which he was probably sitting on the breaking ball and still swing at the fastball. You don't usually see Cabby take these kind of swings. But he's an outstanding breaking ball hitter, and most of the time he gets a breaking ball in that count. But he usually doesn't swing at that fastball.
Bosch a ground out back in the first inning. .271 average for Brennan. Rolls one to second base. Big hop. Valbuena has it. 2 gone.
Hey fans, this Sunday it's an on-field photo day at Comerica Park. Take pictures of your favorite Tigers players on the field, weather permitting. Prior to the game at 1:05 against the Indians. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit Tigers.com. That's always one of the best days here at Comerica Park, when the fans get a chance to go on the field and pose for some pictures with their favorite Tiger.
You a good picture taker?
No, not really. I mean, I don't really even have a camera. My family has cameras, but I just kind of use my phone these days. That young fella looks like he's posing for a picture. Clean, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Sweet sunglasses, too.
All color coordinated.
There's a strikeout. Peralta 0-2. Johnny fly to center field back in the second. 236 overall with 12 home runs for Peralta. And the 0-2. Johnny has seen a lot of time at short ever since Brandon Inge has come back. He's played almost exclusively at that shortstop position, the position that he came up playing with the Indians. That's rolled up the middle. Ranging left, Cabrera has it. And the Tigers go 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. 3 innings on the score sheet as we go to the fourth. It is 4-0.
music, and the first 10,000 fans receive a Miguel Cabrera cap, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
Salsa going on in the background there.
I might wear me an outfit like that tomorrow. Where can I get some of those pants with studs on them?
You gonna do it?
If I can get a uniform like that, I'd put it on.
Will you really? All right. Bob, you said it on the air. You're gonna have to do it now. This is the spot where I usually say, well, if you'll do it, I'll do it.
You didn't say that.
You didn't say that.
You didn't say that.
You're on your own on this one.
A little salsa, a little merengue. Shake it up a little bit.
Trevor Crowe is leading it off.
I might even try to find all the Spanish words in my little dictionary tomorrow for the broadcast.
See, you know quite a few, and you know you do.
It's called Spanglish.
Spanglish?
Stuff.
Yeah, that's all right.
You know, fastball would be like recta. Cambio is the change-up. I'm gonna have a few tomorrow for our listeners.
What's a curveball?
Same. Curveball.
It's kind of like home run and home run?
Yeah, same thing.
Here's Rhymes gobbling this one up, and Crowe is out of there. One gone. How about Galarraga tonight?
Oh, he looks good. I mean, and it's kind of continuation of what he did the last time that he was against this Cleveland Indians team. He retired 37 of 38. Those are the two combined, excuse me, but he was real good against them the first time, as we know, back on June 2nd, the near perfect game.
Yes, we do. It is still seared in our memories. Here's Cabrera. As dribble fly to center field back in the first.
He's been first pitch strikes on just about every hitter here today, which is a good remedy for success for Galarraga.
So apparently this leg kick you were talking about early in the game has served him well here tonight.
Well, he started it last time as well in Chicago. He had a good start in Chicago until late. He kind of unraveled there in the 5th or 6th inning by walking a batter or two, but his stuff was really good. And I told you, he touched 95 in that game, and I had never seen Galarraga touch 95 miles an hour. When you have this kind of balance over the rubber, a little bit of a turn there with your backside, you stay closed, you allow your arm to catch up, and you get better action on your pitches.
Swing and a miss. So strikeout Cabrera, and that's 5 of them now for Galarraga. Here's the AT&T trivia question tonight. Prior to the Indians last night, who was the last team to commit 5 or more errors and still win the game? That's what the Indians did last night. Prior to the Indians, when was the last time it was done?
I will tell you, the last time the Indians made 5 errors and won a game, you got to go all the way back to 1996.
Wow.
July 12th to be exact. That's a long time.
It's a lot of errors. 2 outs for Shin-Soo Choo, who flied out his first time up.
He's a nice two-way player. He'll hit you 20 home runs. He'll steal you 20 bases. You talked about the outstanding throwing arm that he has from right field. He is a good baseball player. One that you build around.
2 balls and 1 strike on Choo.
He and Gerald Laird were joking before the game, and Laird was telling me a story while Choo was around, and he said every time Choo comes to the plate, he says he needs a hit. It's a home run or a double. And that's after an 0 for 2. And of course, he'll go to the plate and he might tell Gerald, I need a base hit. And Laird said every time he says that, he hits a home run or a double. Choo told Laird he was going to say that to him every time he went to the plate today.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Off the plate, 3-2. On Choo. 387 on base percentage, good for 7th in the American League. As Travis Hafner waits his turn on deck.
He's prompt these days.
Back to his old hitting ways.
Yeah, they like prompt.
3-2 pitch. Driven foul. Indians came in having lost 8 of their last 11. Tigers really had a chance to make that swing through Chicago and New York. A really good swing. They took the series in Chicago, won the first game in New York, but the Yankees won the last 3.
The Yankees, good baseball team. Really good baseball team, and they protect home court advantage very well, to the tune of the best team in the American League. tough to beat if you don't go in there with real good starting pitching. Because once they get into that middle relief, it could be a long night. There was a couple of long nights there for Tigers. And us.
And the 3-2. Lifted again, back out of play. Chu hanging tough here. Indians looking for their first base runner. And you see 8 pitches in this at bat. Number 9 coming up to Shin-Soo Choo. And he got him, strike 3. Chu tried to coax a walk. In the meantime, Galarraga has his 6th strikeout. He's retired 12 straight to start the game. Number to 37338. That's FSDET. You know the drill by now. You can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game. Final results coming up post game during Tigers Live. Inge leads it off against Masterson, who righted the ship a little bit back in the 3rd by getting the Tigers 1-2-3. Tigers got 2 in the 1st and 2 in the 2nd. Inge and then Kelly. They each had singles back in the 2nd. Laird had a base hit as well. He'll follow. Here's the 0-2. Masterson acquired at the trading deadline last year in that Martinez deal. Victor Martinez. He sails one high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Talked about Masterson and the fact that usually first time through doesn't present a whole lot of problems for him, but it has today. The Tigers have scored 4 runs already, and usually it's the 2nd time around where he kind of runs into a little bit of trouble. I know Justin, but I really haven't asked him yet what he would prefer to do, whether start or pitch out of the bullpen. But I do know this much. When he was pitching out of Boston's bullpen, he was 96 to 98 with his fastball, and it was explosive. For whatever reason, that fastball is a starter anywhere from 89 to 93, 94 on occasion. And you said he was rated as having the best fastball in their organization.
He was. And as a reliever, his numbers, well, to be quite honest, have been quite a bit better. But so much of a premium is put on starting pitching that a guy with his type of arm, I guess they want to give him every opportunity to take to that role.
And he's got size, too. You can't teach that. He's a big boy. What is it, 6'6", you said? 250?
6'6", yeah.
He's got size.
Fouled away by Brandon. There you go. You see the ERA as a starter And compare that to what he does in relief.
There's no doubt Manny Acton and Tim Belcher is pitching coach, and I'm sure their general manager as well, Mr. Shapiro, will be weighing in as to what Masterson's future is. He's a big league pitcher. There's no debate about that. I guess it's what you have a need for in your club, too.
Yeah, that always figures in. Tim Belcher, their pitching coach. A lot of big league experience as a player.
Steve Smith, they're standing next to Manny Acton, their third base coach.
Lifted to right field, slicing away from Chu. To the corner it goes, and it's foul.
When Manny Acton took this gig, though, he probably didn't think that by the time August rolled around, he'd be playing without Peralta, Kerry Wood, Jake Westbrook, Austin Kearns, Grady Sizemore, and his very talented catcher, Santana, as well. It has been a very difficult season for Manny Acton, his first tour of duty in Cleveland. And now they're rebuilding. It looks like they've got the youngest 40-man roster in all of baseball.
11 pitch at bat results in a walk for Brandon Inge. That is the first of the game for Masterson. By the way, this game tonight is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. We're talking about the youth. The Indians currently have 8 rookies on their active roster, 9 if you include the DL.
Yeah, we've been there, done that. There was a time where we had about 8 rookies on the squad as well.
Here's Don Kelly.
Well, Masterson continues to present the kind of counts where Jim could start runners. The last time Kelly was up, it was a perfect hit and run right past the shortstop Cabrera. And this also presents that same type of count. So Jim want to force the issue here tonight against the Cleveland Indians.
Kelly had a base hit, scored a run back in the second. And the 1-0. 1-1 on Don. Indians team average's age is 26 years old, a little over 26 years of age. Their elder statesman, the senior member, Travis Hafner, he's 33. He's the oldest player on their roster right now. Inge measuring his lead at first base. Here's the 1-1. Soft liner into right, base hit. Inge will go to second, and the Tigers have something going here in the fourth.
In the offseason, Manny Acton was a hot commodity. As a matter of fact, he was offered the Houston Astros job and the Cleveland Indians job on the exact same day. But he chose the Cleveland Indians job over the Houston Astros job because he felt like they had better players and a better system. But as I said earlier, he did not know that he would have to trade away all of the players that he had on his roster at the beginning of the season.
And he spent 3 years managing Washington. Actually 2.5 before he was let go in July of last year. Here's a punt, third base side. Nix throws him out, and Laird with a single and a sacrifice in this game tonight.
The Tigers have been nearly perfect tonight with their small ball play. Runner on second base, they've gotten them over a couple of different times. Runner on third, less than 2 outs, they were successful there. And then you got the sack bunt right there by Gerald Laird, and he'll get some high fives when he gets back to that dugout. And that's exactly where you want to bunt it, down toward third base. You make the third baseman come and field it to vacate his position, which makes it a real nice coasting spot for Brandon Inge.
Infield in now for Cleveland, and there's a strike called on Austin Jackson. 4-0 Tigers lead, looking for more here. Jackson's had a big night so far, a couple of hits, and he has swiped the bag as well. Bouncing ball to short. They're going to come home with it. And caught in a run down as Brandon Inge will tag him out. And so Jackson is aboard on the fielder's choice. 2 gone.
For those of you kind of wondering why Inge would simply run into an out on the ball hit directly at the shortstop, this is a pre-planned play. It's a contact play. They've already talked about it, Gene Lamont and Brandon Inge. That sign came from Jim Leland as to what he wanted Brandon to do. And on a contact play, as soon as the ball is made contact with, you run. And it's just a gamble play, and it's not all bad if you've got a 4-run lead to work with.
So with 2 outs now to bring up Will Rhymes. Infield back, Rhymes 1 for 2.
I'm sure there's probably people at home like new baseball folks.
What's he doing?
Looking at that and like, where's Brandon going? I mean, that's right at the shortstop. And the infield's in. Where's he going?
But as you say, the key there is with the 4-0 spread, you can afford to take a little bit of a gamble there.
No doubt. It's a good play.
Here's the 1-0. 8 Tigers hits in this game so far, and all of them have been singles.
83 pitches already thrown by Justin Masterson in the 4th inning.
And he's fallen behind Rhymes. Galarraga, meanwhile, has thrown just 50 in this game.
Chili Davis, Devon White, and Rolando Rooms are the only other 3 Jamaican-born players that have played in the big leagues. Masterson, the only pitcher. Chili Davis and Devon White had extraordinary big league careers.
Line drive, base hit right field. Out of the reach of Valbuena. Score the run. Tigers lead 5-0.
The little fella been getting it done.
He sure has. His 2nd hit in this game.
It's a fastball right down the middle, about belt buckle high at about 87 miles an hour.
It's another 2-hit game for Rhymes. And his 5th big league RBI. 9 hits, all singles now for Detroit. There's Johnny Damon. He's 0 for 2. Lifted in the air. Routine center field, and Crow is under it. And that is all for the Tigers. But they get another run. And we've played 4 innings now. Hafner, Duncan, Nix coming up. Prior to the Indians last night, it was the last team to commit 5 or more errors and still win the game. How far back do we have to go? Not far back at all. July the 7th.
Really? That's all?
White Sox against the Angels, 5 errors and a 5-2 win.
And that error by Marte, he was put in the game as a defensive replacement late in the game. And the first ball that was hit to him, he booted.
Hafner is leading things off, and he will pop up for the first out. Galarraga making it look easy against the Indians again tonight.
Well, the Indians have kind of gone up there now, and they're swinging at very early in counts because Galarraga has been so efficient with his first pitch strike today, but he is locating it in an area where they haven't been able to make real good contact.
Shelly Duncan. Ground ball left side off the glove of Brandon Inge. He'll get to his feet and throw him out.
What a play.
Oh, Inge knew that he had a chance with Duncan running. He made a fine play.
First pitch swinging is Duncan. He takes a fastball that's outside. He hits it rather sharply down toward Brandon. Brandon with those shortstop feet at that third base position. He dives. He knocks it down. He picks it up. He turns and fires a seed across the diamond. He's got a really good throwing arm.
Duncan running as hard as he can, just could not get there. Here is Nix. Jason Nix bounced out his first time up. 5-0 Tigers lead. We're in the 5th inning. And the 0-1. Galarraga has struck out 6 so far in this game and has retired the first 14 straight. The 1-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Nix was hitting just 163 for the White Sox before they let him go. Cuts and misses. 2-2. Indians picked him up in late June.
White Sox able to salvage 1 game in Minnesota to prevent themselves from being swept and falling 6 back to the Minnesota Twins. Carl Pavano got lit up yesterday.
Just talking about how good he was yesterday.
We sure were. This is the big leagues. He gave up a ton of hits.
3-2 and Laporta waiting on deck. Three-two pitch. Chopped toward third, foul. Knicks 5-game hitting streak going right now. Galarraga has been in command tonight. His teammates have backed him up with 5 runs. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, hit high in the air toward left field. Kelly going back, still going back, can't get it. It's off the wall. Nix is on his way to second. He'll pull in there. And Galarraga gives up his first hit and first base runner of the game tonight. Two-out, 2-base hit for Nix.
Great effort by Kelly. That ball hit right off his glove. He almost caught that. Look at this.
Oh, it did.
Right off the glove.
Inches. Laporta the batter. And Laporta bounced out back in the third. Well, this night was shaping up like another June 2nd here when we all know what Galarraga did against the Indians. He had retired 14 straight and inches away from Kelly making a spectacular catch out there in left. Here's the 1-0 to Laporta. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Laporta has 7 home runs. He was a prolific home run hitter in college at the University of Florida. Off the end of the bat, squibbed one right to the first baseman Cabrera, and that is that for the Indians. They finally get their first hit of the game. and strand a double. You're watching Tigers baseball at Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. The first 14 straight against the Indians had us thinking, I wonder if it's going to happen again. But the double ended the no-hit bid and the perfect game bid. Jason Nix doubling to left. Didn't score, though, as we go to the bottom of the fifth. It's Cabrera leading it off. Then Bosch and then Peralta. Ground ball, shortstop side. Asdrubal Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera is out. One gone. Cabby now 1 for 3 tonight. He's going to bring up Brennan Bosch.
Brennan had a patient at bat yesterday. It was his final at bat of the day. As a matter of fact, his only at bat of the day. He entered as a defensive replacement, and he had a good at bat. Base hit right back up the middle. They would like to see him display a little bit more patience these days. They've tried something different with Brennan, and that's throwing him some pitches and just kind of having him track the balls into the catcher's glove, getting a real good look at it, maybe trying to improve the plate discipline.
Back up the middle for Cabrera again. Had him played nicely, 2 gone. Well, I guess anything to get him going again, because he was really so fun to watch when he first came up, and you're talking about 50 RBIs in half a season.
Well, he needs to find the happy medium now, because he went from being real aggressive to kind of passive in this game. 3 ground balls, 2 to the shortstop, 1 to the second baseman, and he hasn't taken real aggressive swings like we're accustomed to Brennan taking. So now he just needs to find that happy medium from being over aggressive to, like, let's get after the look there.
Here's Johnny Peralta. Johnny tonight is 0 for 2, fly ball and a ground ball. Tigers tonight scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the fourth. Oh and 2. First of 3 between these two clubs. Scherzer will go tomorrow against Josh Tomlin. Final game of the series, we're going to see that young kid we saw in his big league debut, Genmar Gomez.
He was good and has been good since then, really, hasn't he?
Yeah, I guess so. He's got a 1.84 ERA.
That's real good. Scherzer's been good, too.
Wave and a miss. Peralta is out. Easy 1-2-3 inning. Third strikeout for Masterson.
break down the game, show you all the highlights from the Call Sam Studios here on Fox Sports Detroit.
So we go to the 6th inning in this one. Tigers on top 5-0, and Galarraga back at the hill. First batter he faces is Luis Valbuena. He'll be followed by Lou Marson and then Trevor Crow. Galarraga had thrown 62 pitches to get through 5 innings. Pitch count in tremendous shape tonight. 1-1 on Valbuena. He struck him out back in the 3rd.
Well, one of the messages that Jim had for Galarraga after his last start in Chicago, Jim felt like Galarraga had the kind of stuff on that day, whereas he should have stayed out there for about 7 innings, but he didn't with the stuff that he had. And Jim, you know, he's honest about those types of things. He said he would talk to him about it, and I'm sure he has.
Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Galarraga has another strikeout. That is his 7th.
The one thing he's doing very well today is changing eye levels with all of his pitches. For the most part, he's working at the bottom of the strike zone to get ahead, but then once he gets ahead, he expands it with the breaking ball to the right-handers, and then to the left-handers, he throws a little breaking ball that's off the plate outside or up, like he got that last strikeout.
Marson cuts and misses. Armando's strikeout high prior to tonight was 6, so he's established a new high here this evening with 7 punch-outs. His career high is 8, so he's 1 short of that mark. Started striking him out early tonight, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th. Back out of play. 0-2 on Lou Marson.
Well, my second bullet point on Galarraga's pitching profile today, the scouting report, was finish what you start. It looks like he wants to do that today, looks like.
Yeah, judging by his pitch count, first pitch strikes. They've been great. Little looper will drop in just out of the reach of Will Rhymes.
That was not a bad pitch, but Marson able to get to it. It's an 0-2 breaking ball. Just a little bit too close. It's located well. It's off the plate. Marson gets just a piece of it. Marson needed that base hit.
Here's Trevor Crow. Only the 2nd hit allowed by Galarraga tonight. Crow is 0 for 2.
If you're a young Indians player, and they're all young, I mean, they've got the youngest roster in the big leagues, you really need to take advantage of this opportunity that Manny Act has given you to play every single day in the big leagues. I mean, because there's going to be some guys that come back, Sizemore when he's healthy. You're sure they're going to go out and make some deals and trades in the offseason. And it's that last taste that you leave in your manager's mouth is the one that he will remember going into spring training next year.
That's why September is going to be important for guys like Crow and Laporta and Marson. Marson getting a chance to play now because of the injury to Santana. Line drive to center. Jackson will have to make a basket catch. And there are 2 gone. Back to the studio we go. Time for a game break. Here's Trevor Thompson. Thank you, Trevor. A 4-game lead for Minnesota over Chicago in the Central.
Joe Mauer's gotten hot. He's hitting .332 now. Remember about a month ago he was about .280 and people were like wondering what's wrong with Joe. He's aimed about 50 points on that average.
I think we kind of expected it, didn't we?
Well, I mean, he was not swinging it that well. You never know. But he's got a nice track record.
Yeah, and based on that, you kind of figured he would certainly find his groove sooner or later. Of course, they were saying he was banged up a little bit, too, at that time. That's skied toward left field. Kelly coming hard to foul ground. Will he have room? Yes, just before it gets into the seats. And the side retired. Galarraga cruising along tonight. Big old smile on his face. Little help from Kelly.
And we're going to take you back to an outstanding play by Brandon Inge. He grabs the ball off the bat of Shelly Duncan. He wheels and throws, and that preserves the perfect game until the very next hitter. It's a ball hit in the left field by Nix. Kelly with an outstanding effort off the glove, can't make the play. Coors Light Freeze Cam is always brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Well, despite the fact that he gave up the hit and now has given up 2 hits, all smiles tonight for Galarraga and the Tigers, who lead 5-0 in this one.
Last inning was Justin Masterson's best inning. He had a better breaking ball. He had more life on his fastball. And he was able to retire the Tigers 3 up, 3 down.
It's had trouble with 7, 8, 9 here tonight, though. The Tigers' bottom 3 hitters are 4 for 4. Driven high in the air to right field. Hit well. Shin-Soo Choo going back. Still on the run. Can't get it. 1 hop into the seats. That'll be a ground rule double. Make it 5 for 5. Brandon Inge safe at second base. Safe and secure. New York Light. Tigers now have their 10th hit, and that is their first extra base hit of this game.
Now, Kelly's got a job to do. There's nobody out. You've got a runner on second base. You can drive him in, but at the very least, you need to have Brandon standing on third base when you finish your at-bat. The Tigers have played a really nice game today, situational-wise, with their offense. They've handled every situation flawlessly.
Kelly 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 runs scored. Well, they had Laird sacrifice a runner up back in the 4th inning. Of course, the Rhymes single, which led to a run in the 1st inning, which was a bunt single. And it's 2-0 on Don Kelly. Tigers picked up 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th, and now trying to pad their lead here in the 6th. Masterson is about ready to deliver his 100th pitch of this evening. And here it is. Ground ball right side, base hit. Kelly 3 for 3. They're going to hold the runner at third with Choo gunning it back into the infield.
When you play the game the right way, you get rewarded. Kelly was simply trying to hit something to the right side of the infield to advance Inge to third, and he's able to find that seam between first and second. And there's no way you're going to run on this arm, not if you don't have to. That would be Shin-Soo Choo.
Here comes Gerald Laird. So make it 11 hits now for Detroit. 3 of those for Don Kelly in the 8th spot in Jim Leland's lineup tonight. Laird's had a good night. Sacrifice, single, and an RBI. Backs him out of there. Apparently Gerald's elbow feeling good enough to start tonight. Of course, he took a pitch off of his elbow and it immediately started to swell up.
Told you earlier that Masterson has uncorked 11 wild pitches this year, so base runners always need to be aware of that fact.
Ground ball foul, third base side. Don Kelly has just picked up his 2nd career 3-hit game. 09. In June of 09, the 20th against Milwaukee, he had a 3-hit game. Here's the 1-1. In the air. Right field. Well, let's see if Inge is coming. Choo gets a running start. They're going to hold it. He played that thing 1.5 miles back.
You know, but he played it right, though.
He sure did.
He played it right. And why gamble? I mean, this young man can throw. I mean, he just plays that the way you're supposed to play it. He gets back, and then he gets all his momentum carrying him back to where he's going to throw this baseball. And that's the key to the play. Inge takes a couple of steps off of third base, and then he understands that I'm not going to run into this catcher's gear. because it would have been a collision.
Well, don't you normally see outfielders maybe take a step or two back and line it up? He ran 4 or 5 steps.
I think there's a little wind up there today. We've watched a couple of balls travel over his head. The one that Cabrera hit, although Cabrera has brute strength. But that ball that Inge hit to right field, I didn't realize it was going to carry as far as it carried. It went all the way to the warning track. And so there's some wind up there today, and that's why I think Chu kind of overplayed that one a little bit, but he was able to catch up to it.
Chu picked up his 12th outfield assist earlier in the game, he did get Cabrera trying to go from first to second on a base hit.
I'm surprised teams still run on him, to be honest with you. 12 assists is a lot of assists for a guy that comes in with a track record of having one of your better throwing arms at that position.
They continue to test him. Jackson is 2 for 3 with a steal and an RBI. Good pitch, outer edge, 1-2. Masterson has had a pair of 1-2-3 frames, but he's also given up quite a few base runners tonight, 11 hits. He's also walked a batter. And the 1-2 outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's really pitched in a lot of traffic all year. He came in 139 innings pitched, 159 hits, but you tack on 66 walks to that, and that's well over 200 base runners in the 139 innings pitched coming into this game. So that's a lot of pitching out the stretch.
Got him on strikes. Jackson knew it. 4 strikeouts for Masterson. There are 2 away.
This might have been his best fastball of the day. Kind of off the plate, outside at 90 miles an hour. Some swing back action to it.
Here's Will Rhymes. Another 2-hit day for Will, plus an RBI.
Now I know why Will's got that long hair. He's a drummer.
It's making sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But he can also play the violin, so that doesn't fit. That missed inside. 1-0. Will try to get to New York in time to make a start 2 days ago when Guillen was placed on the DL, and there was trouble with his airplane, his flight, so he got delayed. Had to jump on another flight and got to Yankee Stadium just before tip-off for that game, but they had to take him out of the starting lineup. Rhymes is glad to be back. Of course, not at the expense of Carlos Guillen, but he'll continue to get opportunities here. Hector Ambriz warming up. That's rolled foul. That hair that he's sporting these days is kind of reminiscent of Maglio Ordonez, isn't it?
Yeah, Maglio had a little longer, but Rhymes is on that. He's on that path for sure.
One and 2 on Will. Tigers at first and third with 2 outs. They chopped that one foul. Will out of Houston, Texas. We told the story before that he was thinking about going to Rice University, which is a baseball factory. Boy, they've produced quite a few big league players, a lot of professional players, and he decided he wanted to go to a smaller college so he could play every day instead of maybe sitting the bench at a major D1. And it worked out for him. Swing and a miss. Masterson dusts him that time. 5 strikeouts for Masterson. Tigers strand 2. 6 in the books. Still 5-0 Detroit. And by your Detroit area Volkswagen dealers, visit DetroitVWDealers.com. Downtown Detroit all lit up tonight as we head to the 7th inning at Comerica Park. It's been a fun night of baseball here. The Tigers have been dominant. So has Galarraga. They lead 5-0. Shin-Soo Choo leads it off. It'll be Choo, Hafner, and Duncan against the Tigers right-hander. Driven high in the air and hooking. That ball will go foul. 1 ball, 1 strike on Shin-Soo Choo. Choo is 0 for 2 tonight. Strikeouts and a fly ball. Galarraga gave up a double in the 5th and a single in the 6th. He retired the first 14 Indians consecutively tonight. Well, that wind is really starting to pick up. Here's the 1-1. Back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Shin-Soo Choo, not like most foreign-born players that come to America to play baseball. He started his career as a minor leaguer in the Seattle Mariners organization. Therefore, he doesn't have that high leg kick like most Japanese players, Korean players, players that are born out of the United States. He simply has a more conventional swing and approach that he was taught in Seattle's organization. But you look at Ichiro and Hideki Matsui and all the other Japanese players that are playing in the big leagues, they all have that very high leg kick. Not so with Choo.
It's kind of like all the Japanese pitchers have that hesitation when they come to the plate.
Correct. And even when you watch the World Baseball Classic, all the players from Korea also have the very high leg kick, which I guess, you know, is a balance point for most of those players. Not him. He just picks it up and puts it right back down. American style.
This time driven to left field. It's going to slice. Out of play. Two and 2 on Choo. A little bit outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Meanwhile, waiting on deck, Travis Hafner. 3-2 pitch. Soft liner over the glove of Peralta. 3rd hit of the game for Cleveland. Leadoff man on here in the 7th.
I don't know if Johnny saw this ball off the bat, but he sure did get a late jump moving in that direction. As I look at him, he elevated about as high as he could get up, and he wasn't going to make the play, but he didn't move until the ball almost got on top of him.
Rick Knapp has not had to get on the phone all night up until now as they get some activity going in the Detroit bullpen. Here's Travis Hafner. 3rd hit of the game for Cleveland.
Hafner, a fly ball swinger. Yeah, just about every time he makes contact, he elevates the baseball. Therefore, he's only grounded into 1 double play this year, if that's part of your thought process here with the big fella standing in the batter's box. We'll take 1, though.
Well, even if he is a fly ball hitter, that's still kind of surprising. Only 1?
Just 1.
Hafner tonight has struck out and put the ball in the air, a pop-up.
Especially when we just left a guy like Derek Jeter, who has hit into 17 of them.
The DH Hafner has hit 172 home runs in a Cleveland uniform, which is good for 10th all-time in their franchise. Fouled away.
He's a guy that chokes up on the bat, too. You don't usually see big, strong, physical guys like Travis that choke up. But he will give you a hair on that bat just to give him a little bit more bat control. Take a look at him. That's a couple of inches there.
The 0-2. Ooh, that was close. 1-2 on Hafner. Okay, maybe not as close. as I originally thought. Hafner wears that big elbow protector. He's been hit 11 times this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There is action in the Detroit bullpen. Ryan Perry and Phil Koch.
New member in that bullpen today, too. Alfredo Figueroa was called up today. Robbie Weinhardt was sent back down to the minors.
Hafner stays alive. There's Alfredo. Weinhardt had some good games up here, and then he also had some games like yesterday where he struggled.
Yep.
There's the move. Meanwhile, Figueroa, 10-game winner in AAA Toledo. The thought process in making the move was perhaps to bring a position player up for Weinhardt, but Leland said before the game today that his starting pitching in New York did not give him enough innings, and so the bullpen was stretched a little bit, so they just replaced one arm with another.
Yeah, usually you don't have 13 pitchers, but the Tigers are carrying 13 right now. 12 position players.
And again, the 2-2. Rolled foul, so Hafner continues to battle here. Still nobody out in this inning. Tigers lead 5-0. Shelley Duncan waiting on deck. Shin-Soo Choo led it off with a base hit. This one is rolled foul again. It's going to be a 10-pitch at bat, at least before this one is over. 9 pitches already. Hafner came into this one red hot, a 6-game streak. He was 11 for 22 in that span. He recently came off the disabled list against Seattle on the 15th of August, and all he did was hit a grand slam his first game back.
He's got quite a few of those in his career.
11 of them. Two and two. Three balls and 2 strikes. So Galarraga's pitch count in this inning alone is really starting to elevate. He had thrown 75 through 6 innings. It's at 93 right now. And the 3-2. Skied to center field, shallow left center field. Looks like Kelly's going to come over in front of Jackson to make the play. And there's our first out of the inning.
Hey fans, follow the Tigers on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phones with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play, video highlights, and live audio broadcasts. Visit Tigers.com today for more details.
Visit to the mound now as Rick Knapp heads out. He'll chat with Galarraga. Tigers action in their bullpen in case help is needed here in the 7th.
Well, Duncan, who is standing in the batter's box, has got some power. He's got 7 home runs and limited playing time, and he hits tons of home runs and always has had a lot of power. So I'm sure the message to Galarraga is simply do not give him anything on the inner third of the plate, which would allow him to pull the ball to left field.
By the way, if Jose Valverde is credited with a save in this game, text ZOOM to 37338 to enter to win a party in a Comerica Park suite. It is brought to you by Mazda. Here's Shelley Duncan. Waves and misses 0-1.
Armando still looking for that ground ball. No need to get a strikeout. Really, your concentration should be working at the bottom of the strike zone. Minimal amount of pitches thrown to get out of this inning.
Popped him up. Left side of the infield. Wind is playing with this one a bit. And Peralta. 2 gone. Chu is still at first base. He's going to bring up Jason Nix. Nix 1 for 2. Galarraga had retired 14 straight to start the game until Nix doubled off the wall and left.
He's a dead pull hitter. He likes to turn and burn on everything.
Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. 1-1 on Nix.
And when you know a guy's a pull hitter, if you can locate your fastball down and away and try to get him to hit the ball to right field, that's what you do against a guy like Nix.
One and two.
One more, just a little bit further outside.
Armando is 1 strikeout away from matching his career high. He has 7 in this game.
You set it up beautifully. He's going to get it.
I'm trying.
Here it comes. Slide piece. Ooh.
Got him. Strike 3. Here you have it. 8 strikeouts for Galarraga equals his career high. First 14 batters he faced in this game. Tigers 7, 8, 9. Awfully good. 6 for 7. And the Tigers with runners in scoring position tonight. 6 for 14. So that is awfully good as well, considering where they have been. And Hector Ambriz now is the new pitcher in the Wallside Windows pitching chain.
He comes in with numbers that are a bit elevated. The earned run average is approaching 6, and the opponent's batting average is 341 against Hector.
And so the Tigers here in the bottom of the 7th inning, sending Johnny Damon to the dish. Is Galarraga done tonight? We will find out. Damon Cabrera, Bosch. Johnny tonight is 0 for 3. Flat ball this last time up.
Well, Galarraga has given Jim Leyland the kind of effort that will get your pitching back in shape after you had to go to your bullpen quite a bit in that Yankee series. And you need your starter to go out there and give you 7, maybe even 8 tonight here for Galarraga.
Well, he's given him 7 shutout innings tonight. Two balls, no strikes. Driven to right field. Chu backing up. Damon hit it hard, but he's 0 for 4 tonight. One gone here in the 7th. Here comes Cabrera.
Cabrera, with that completed road trip, he's kind of jumped right back into that Triple Crown conversation. I kind of thought it was a done deal, but he's kind of jumped right back into it.
Yeah, we were backing off because nobody was pitching to him. And then all of a sudden he started getting hot again. Cabrera trails Bautista in the home run column by 6.
Yeah. That's doable.
He's second in average, and he leads in RBI.
Yeah, he's right back in it.
2-1.
And anytime you start talking about a potential Triple Crown, you're talking about a guy that's in the MVP conversation as well. He and Josh Hamilton, I think, are probably about neck and neck right now.
That one missed. 3 balls, 1 strike. You think if the Rangers make the playoffs and the Tigers don't, that would tip the scales?
I don't know. I mean, sometimes it does factor, but I believe if he deserves it, I think people will vote accordingly.
3-1 pitch. The other way. Base hit. Cabrera has his second hit of the game. That'll bring up Brendan Bosch.
Now, Brennan is grounded out to short twice and second base once. He's seeing some pitches. As I said earlier, though, he needs to find that happy medium, though, between earlier when he was over swinging and over aggressive to being a little bit more, get more bat speed through that strike zone. Here's a good count to doing it. It's 1 ball. It's no strikes. You have to be sitting on a fastball. And if you get your fastball, then this is the time where you look to hit a ball in the gap somewhere. It's a free swing. He's getting the fastball, too. Let it go.
1-1. The Bosch average now at 270. Hector Hombres, born in Orange, California. Into center field. That's going to drop. Base hit. Bosch has his first hit tonight. Tigers piling up the hits now. They have 13 in this game.
He got a breaking ball there from Hombres. He hit it down on the label. Sounded like he might have cracked his bat, but the result is a good result. And you can see the balance here through the swing. At least you could see the balance through the swing. Well, he's got balance curling left.
That's a good recovery there.
Not a little too quick. I should have told him it was coming, but it was good balance, though. I'll spin it.
Here's Peralta.
I'll spin that line in the outfield.
13 hits tonight for the Tigers. Indians have 3 hits. Marson able to block that one. Get your line ready.
Yeah, I'm going to get it right. Here you go. Now watch the swing. There's good balance. And a way to tell there's good balance is if you can draw a line right down the center of the body where the head is resting comfortably over the belt buckle. That's really good balance. And a lot of times you're not going to get a hit, but you're going to hit the ball sharply somewhere.
The 1-0. Bouncing ball to short, could be two. There's one. Here comes the relay. There's two. Cabrera, Valbuena, Laporta. And the inning is over. You're watching Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Spartan Football All Access as we look ahead to the 2010 campaign for the Green and White. The show includes interviews and features with several team members, including head coach Mark D'Antonio, linebacker Greg Jones, quarterback Kirk Cousins, and converted wide receiver Keith Nichol. Spartan Football All Access season preview airs Sunday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. here on Fox Sports Detroit. Go green, go white.
That's a tough sport, man.
Yeah, it is.
That is a tough sport. You got to be a man to play football.
Now, as the story goes, you tried for a little while, didn't you?
I played. Did you? I played a little bit.
Me, I did not.
Played a little bit. The only reason why I played because all my buddies played, though, and I didn't have anything to do after school. I was by myself all the time.
You didn't like it, though, did you?
I didn't. I did not like it one bit.
Ryan Perry is the new pitcher as we go to the 8th. It'll be Laporta, then Valbuena, and then Marson. So 7 strong tonight from Armando Galarraga. No runs, 3 hits. 100 pitches even.
This is what we didn't see enough of in the Yankees series, and that was Perry and Valverde and Coke. The Yankees were getting into the middle relief of the Tigers, and those guys had to pitch a lot of innings.
Wave and a miss. 2-2 on Laporta. Perry ready with the 2-2 to Laporta. Foul back out of play. Bill Koch is still throwing in the Detroit bullpen. Fly ball in the air toward left center. Shallow. Kelly is there. One gone.
Let's take a look at Armando Galarraga's night. It's our bell tire pitch by pitch. And as a pitcher and catcher, what you want to try to accomplish is disguise all your pitches as to look like strikes, and then they fall out of the strike zone once they get in the hitting zone. Galarraga did a masterful job of that tonight and even changed the eye level on a couple of his strikeouts. So Galarraga pitched very well here tonight and kind of continued as to what he started 5 days ago against the White Sox. He had a good start there until about the 6th inning.
It's a pretty encouraging sign, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. As we move toward the end of the season, Tigers desperately need to get back to 500. They have a 500 baseball team, that much is for sure. And then you can start looking beyond that if anybody comes back to the pack.
1 ball, 1 strike on Luis Valbuena. He has fanned twice, but both of those bats came against the starter Galarraga.
That was some really nice video there of Galarraga, though, because all of his pitches, you could see him coming from that angle in center field where they looked like they were going to be good pitches to hit, and then all of a sudden the late life, boom, one down, one the opposite way. He had good life on his pitches today.
1-2 on Valbuena. Chop to the right side. Righty Cabrera. So Perry with a nice job so far. 2 up, 2 down. Jim Leyland saying he'd like to see a little bit more consistency out of Ryan Perry. There are nights where he looks really, really good, and his stuff is outstanding. And ever since he's gotten to the big leagues, Rod, we've often talked about the fact that he's got the stuff to someday be a closer.
Well, he really hasn't pitched that much.
True.
And he will find that consistency, but it only comes with, going out there and pitching. Perry didn't pitch that much in college. He didn't pitch that much after he was drafted, only 18 innings, I believe, before he came to the big leagues. And he just hasn't been used that much. But once he starts to get used and gets comfortable, I think we're going to see a guy that can pitch at the back end of a game and be successful.
Like anything else, there's no better teacher than experience. Here's the 1-0 to Marson. Fly ball right field. It's carrying. Bosch going back. Edge of the warning track, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Perry. We go to the bottom of the 8th at Comerica Park. A couple of RBIs. Inge, Kelly, and Laird at the bottom of the lineup doing their job too. And it's all added up to a 5-0 lead for the Tigers as we go to the home half of the 8th inning. 13 Detroit hits, only 3 for Cleveland this evening. Inge, Kelly, Laird coming up. And Brandon looks at strike 1 from Hector Ambriz. Brandon has been on base 3 times tonight. Double, single, walk. Here's the 0-1. Inge this year has been a much better hitter at home. .293 here at Comerica Park, and he's done nothing to hurt that mark tonight with 2 more hits. Here's the 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hit well. Left center field. He put a charge into this one, and a diving attempt by Crow. It'll drop in against the wall. Inge is on his way to third, and he is in there safely. And is Crow okay?
Man, he dove for that ball, and he went right into the fence with his head. Man, oh man.
Gosh, that looked bad.
He had no shot at catching it. He left his feet, and he couldn't hold up, and he went right into the wall head first. Look at this. Oh, he turned to the side.
That's good. Not sure the last time I've seen a center fielder do that. So Inge now has a triple to go with his single and double. 14 Tigers hits. Infield coming in for the Indians.
$30 hits in the 2 games prior to the Cleveland Indians coming here against the Kansas City Royals, but only 3 for them tonight. It's been the Tigers that have gotten a boatload of hits here today.
Meanwhile, Don Kelly is in search of his first 4-hit game in his career, and he can do it right here with a base hit.
There you have it. 14 of those bad boys.
There's the 0-2. Galarraga spectacular again tonight against the Indians. 14 straight retired to start the game before Nix had a double in the 5th.
They can't hit him.
The 1-2. Andres came on in the 7th, gave up a couple of hits, but got a double play ball. There's more action in their bullpen. Joe Smith.
He looks nasty.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Inge holding at third base. 2 extra base hits tonight for Brandon. Double and a triple. Lou Marson out to the mound.
Hey fans, it's easier than ever to find the seats that you want to the games that you just can't make, or you can sell the tickets to the game you can't make on StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Detroit Tigers. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. There are some available.
Fouled it off. Kelly singled, scored in the 2nd, singled, scored in the 4th, single, did not score in the 6th. Gerald Laird waiting on deck. Ambriz with the 2-2. Pulled foul. Tigers have not scored a run since getting 1 in the 4th. They have not needed a whole lot tonight with the way their pitching staff has gone about their business. Galarraga and Perry.
Jim Leland did a nice job today jump-starting his offense. Hit and run, sacrifice bunts, putting guys in motion. And they responded very well.
That ball's hit well to right field. Chu going back. He's going to turn on and off the wall. Kelly has himself a 4-hit game with a double. The first 4-hit game of his career. He almost hit that out.
That was a good at-bat by Kelly. Hombres continued to throw him fastball after fastball inside, and Kelly just kind of looked for one. His bat sped up. He caught it out in front, and he killed it. Chu couldn't run it down. And anytime the ball's hit the right field, you better get on your horse because he's going to make a nice throw somewhere. He's got a gun.
15 Detroit hits.
I'd like to see Chu on the mound. I bet he can still throw 95 miles an hour.
I think you're right. Growing up, he could. He was a pitcher and threw in the mid-90s.
He had Tommy John surgery, too, just, what, a couple of years ago?
Yes, and that's what kind of makes it incredible. The arm strength, although I guess it's not that incredible these days. Everybody's having Tommy John. And very few have trouble. I don't know if that's accurate, but a lot of guys have come back from it. Thrown just as good or even harder. By the way, the bottom three in the Tigers lineup is now 8 for 9. Also walking a sacrifice.
Smelling open tomorrow?
That could be the topic of conversation when we take the air tomorrow.
No, we got Fiesta Tigre.
Oh,
tomorrow.
That's right. Forget it. We're going to have to put it on hold.
It's nice when you know what you're going to talk about the next day. That's nice. That's nice.
Takes the pressure off.
It does.
There's a strike call. 3-1 on Gerald Laird. Laird a single plus an RBI and a sacrifice in this game. Outside, Laird gets a walk. First 3 Tigers reach. Time for our Kevin Woodstain's legendary performance on this date in 1974. Mickey Lolich and Nolan Ryan battle in an 11-inning complete game duel. Tigers defeated the Angels 1-0 in 2 hours and 41 minutes in an 11-inning game. Ah, the good old days. Back in 1974. I think in New York it took 2:41 to play 3 innings.
You got that right.
There's a ball outside to Austin Jackson.
And even in the games where the pace was kind of crisp, those games slowed down.
3-hour games there seem like they're really fast. It's the nature of the beast in New York. Jackson having himself a pretty good night. Couple of hits, steal, RBI.
Well, he's in a good fastball count, too. He might as well add to that night by sitting on a piece of cheese and hitting it hard somewhere. There he did.
It's a base hit. Kelly coming to third. They're going to stop him there, and the Tigers now have loaded the bases. Nobody out.
That's good baseball. You get yourself in that fastball count. You sit on it, you get it, and you punish it. Right down the middle, about belt buckle high. Jackson's piling up some hits, isn't he?
3 more in this game.
He's Rookie of the Year right now in the American League.
We got to figure out his pace, but he's going to be really close to 200.
He's Rookie of the Year.
Belcher is out to have a chat with Hombres.
Now, do you feel that same way about the Rookie of the Year voting as you feel about the MVP voting? Because it looks like Neftali Feliz is going to get into the postseason.
Yeah, I don't. I feel that you're more likely to get an MVP award if your team gets into the playoffs than a Rookie of the Year award. Yeah, I don't think so. But I do agree that he is the leading candidate right now. I think that has less to do with how well your team does.
That's a good point.
Feliz has got 29 saves. So he's kind of stalled there right now because Texas is not playing as well as they were. Here's Will Rhymes. Popped up. Shallow left field. Duncan charging, sliding, and making the catch. A shoestring catch. He pulled it off the turf. Runners hold.
Replace your divots.
We are told that Austin Jackson is on pace for 186 hits. Heather Nabati's not going to be happy about that.
Well, at least he tried to replace the divot, though. I mean, she's got to be happy about that fact.
There's a gash in left field. Here's Damon. He is looking for his first hit of the night on a night in which the Tigers have 16 hits. Tried to hold up, but he went around. Strike called by Paul Nart. Career bases loaded, awfully good, 386. The 0-1. Wave and a miss, 1-2. Johnny Damon. 5 Tigers have multi-hit games tonight. Kelly, Jackson, Inge, Rhymes, and Cabrera. Here's the 1-2. Marson is able to block it. Two and two. Johnny hit the ball hard his last time, but on a line right at Chu in right field. And he waves and misses, and a tough night for Johnny Damon. 0 for 5 tonight. The second out of the inning, bases stay full, and here comes the big fella Cabrera.
Nowhere to put him. He's got the pitch to him.
Cabrera has 2 slams in his career. Ombre stays away, 1-0. Tigers tonight about hit the Indians 16-3. And they lead 6-0.
Cabrera's like a shark in the water when there's traffic on the base paths.
He's circling his prey right now. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And the one thing about him is you can throw him fastball after fastball after fastball, and then you think you have him set up for that breaking ball, and then that's when he does most of his damage. He crushes breaking balls for strikes.
101 RBIs for Cabrera. Got one back in the first. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
All right, so that's 2 fastballs. Does he dare throw him a breaking ball?
Tried to hold up, but it went around. So the Tigers will leave them loaded. They get another run, though. 8 in the books here at the ballpark. And as we go to the 9th, 6-0. Leads 6-0. Detroit has made a pitching change in this one. The new hurler is lefty Phil Koch.
Well, the back end of the Tigers relief corps needs some work, and that's why Koch is in a 6-run game. He's pitched in 57 games already this year for Jim Lehman, and boy, has he had a good year.
3 more outs to get, and the Tigers have another home win. The Tigers this year are 38-24 at home.
Tigers haven't had many games like this year. 6-run lead in the 9th inning. I mean, I guess it would classify somewhat as a laugher. You still got to finish the deal, but 16 hits on 6 runs. They've done everything right. Galarraga pitched it very well. It's been a good day for the Tigers.
Well, we'll see if they can finish it off here now. The top of the lineup coming up is Trevor Crow to lead things off against Koch. First pitch is a strike called. 0-1 on Crow. Trevor is 0 for 3 in this one.
I'm glad he's all right after barreling into that fence in left center field off that triple of Brandon Inges.
Yeah, that Me Too, that looked like he could have been ugly. The 0-1 pitch. Oh, 0-2 on Crow. Trevor Crow went to high school in Oregon, went to college at Arizona. A finalist for the Golden Spikes Award. As a member of the Wildcats. Skies this one to center. And Austin Jackson cruising back. 1 away.
I did not know that. He must have had a sensational year in college to be a finalist for the Golden Spikes Award.
You got to do some special things.
Oh, no question.
Didn't Bryce Harper win that award this year?
That he did. That he did.
#1 pick of the Nationals.
He signed too.
And I heard the general manager Mike Rizzo talking about him today, saying that eye black that he wears.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that. It's got to go.
That is definitely going.
Yeah, drawing down the face. Yeah, it's got to go.
Here's Cabrera.
What's more fascinating about him winning the Golden Spikes Award is that he left high school 2 years early just so he could be eligible for the draft. But then he goes to a junior college at age 17, and he's the best player in the country. In the country.
Amazing. Hit a lot of home runs this year. Ball outside to Cabrera. Tiger bullpen has faced 4 batters. They've retired all 4. Ryan Perry pitched a perfect 8th. And Koch trying to shut this one down here in the 9th. 2-1 on Cabrera. Popped him up. Here comes Miguel Cabrera. 2 outs. 1 more out to get. And we can put this one in the win column for Detroit. It would be their 59th win of the year. Shin-Soo Choo is the Indians' final chance. Choo has one of the Indians' 3 hits tonight. It was a single back in the 7th. The other 2 belong to Nix, a double, and Marston, a single.
The Cleveland Indians played a night game in Kansas City last night. They didn't get in town until about 3:30, 4 in the morning, and they've kind of played like they didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night.
It's a reality of big league baseball. The schedule sometimes can be really unkind. Tigers have had several instances this year. I remember getting to Texas at like 4 or 5 a.m.
6. Late.
That late?
Well, early.
Yeah, early. Birds were chirping. 2-1. Galarraga, then Perry, and now Koch here in the ninth.
It was still hot, though.
Yeah, it didn't cool down at all. Even at 6 a.m. This should do it. Rhymes. Chu is out and the Tigers win. A 1-2-3 ninth inning for Phil Koch. An impressive victory as the Tigers return home tonight. Jim Leland's squad gives up just 3 hits. They pound out 16 of their own. And Armando Galarraga was fabulous this evening. And it all adds up to a high-flying 6-0 win for Detroit. Back with more from Comerica Park in a moment.